Guys, welcome to Cisco with Aman Soni, and in this video we are going to learn about the STP algorithm and in this complex topology. In my previous video we have gone through all these steps. What is the STP algorithm steps? Very first thing, election of the root bridge, then go to the non-root bridges and elect the root port on every non-root bridge, and after that if you have any RP on all of the non-bridges, in front of that RP there is going to be a DP, and on the rest of the links where there is no election as of now, you will elect DP and blocking. So in my previous lecture we did all these steps, but we did on very simple topology. Just let me show you what topology was that. It was this topology. In that video we did all these algorithm steps in this very simple topology. And in order to elect, like for example, it is here saying go to each non-root bridge and elect the root port. So what is the election process for electing the root port? And this is the election criteria. Then go to the rest of the links and elect DP and blocking. How? What is the election criteria? This is the election criteria. But there are four steps. We'll be looking at the cost, very first thing, cost to reach to the root bridge, and if the cost is same, it ties, then only you will use step number 2. So in this topology we never used more than 2 steps. Why? Because this topology is very simple one. So we are going to perform all these algorithms and election criteria in this bigger topology. Why this bigger topology? Why have dual connections and all? Because in this topology you can see all the 4 election criteria in working. See, the main thing about spanning tree that we are doing, and even if you study various other flavors of STP, the election process pretty much remains the same. So the thing is, same way you perform the election here in this very simple topology, in the similar way you will do the same thing here. And for the easiness of the task, I have already done the very first step in this topology. The very first step is always elect the root bridge. The root bridge is going to have the lowest bridge ID. What is bridge ID, what is root bridge and everything I have discussed previously in my basic spanning tree lecture. The basics of spanning tree. In the link description I'll put the link of all the 3 previous videos, and this is the 4th video on spanning tree protocol. So elect the root bridge, the bridge having the lowest bridge ID. So if you compare the bridge IDs, as you can see here, the priority is 32768 for everyone. 32768, 32768 on all of them, because it is the default priority. So that's why you cannot decide on the basis of priority. That's why you will look on the MAC address of the switches, because priority and MAC address is known as bridge ID. So the switch which is having the lowest MAC address in this case will become the root bridge, and we can clearly see our switch 1 is the root bridge because it has the lowest MAC address. So this guy wins and this guy becomes the root bridge, the king of the topology. So, and I also told you there is one very simple rule after that. Every port on the root bridge is a DP. Every port on the root bridge is a DP. What is a DP? DP means your designated port, which is a forwarding port, simply, nothing special about that. So the very simple thing is all the ports on the root bridge is going to be a designated port. So let me just copy this thing onto the paint and we'll do the election there as well. Okay, just copy and let's paste it into paint. Okay, so let's use the red color for the DP. Oh, the font, let's make it 34, I guess. That is also quite big. 20 then. This is our designated port, because simply all the ports on a root bridge are going to be designated port. So this was your step number 1. Elect the root bridge and every port on the root bridge is going to be a designated port. Now the second step, go to each non-root bridge and elect the root port. Okay, so this guy, all these 3 are non-root bridges. All these 3 switches are non-root bridge. You have to go to them one by one and elect the root port. What is a root port? Root port will provide you the best path to reach to the root bridge, to the king. And how will you elect the root port? In STP it is simple. For all the election process you have to use these four criteria only. So what we are going to do, we are going to go on the switches one by one and elect the root port. So on this port, we have to elect the root port. Okay, so on F02 on this port, what is the cost from this side? If we have to send the data, what is the cost from this side? As I have already told you before, for fast Ethernet, the cost is 19. For fast Ethernet, the cost is 19. So all the links here have the cost of 19. So from here, the cost is 19 cost, and from here the cost is actually 19 plus 19, 38. Okay, more than 19, simply you don't even need to add. So what you will do, the tie is already broken. Okay, the tie is no longer there. F02 will provide you the cost of 18, oh sorry, 19, and this guy more than 19. So simply this guy is our root port. So simply go there and just put it there. It is our root port. That's it. You don't have to do any other election on this switch right now. Go to the other switch and do the same thing, elect the root port. So the cost from here again is 19. The cost from this link is 19 plus 19, 38. So that's why, quite simple, this port is going to be our root port because it is closest to the root bridge. Okay, now things will become quite interesting when we go to switch 4, because it is quite far and it is not directly connected with the root bridge also. So what is the cost from this link, this port? Let's see, 19 plus 19, right? The cost is 38. Okay, what is the cost from this link? 19, and then here, see, we will choose only this path, right? You cannot say that okay, I want to go like this. No, 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 it doesn't make any sense, because whenever you want to go, you'll send here, and this switch already has a RP, so you will use that only. Why? Because obviously RP will give you the best cost from this switch. So from here, if you do the math, 19 plus 19, again 38. So simple as that. You cannot decide on the basis of cost. That's why you have four process for election criteria. The first one you cannot use. The cost is tying right here. So the next step comes the lower sender bridge ID. Okay, so let's talk about that. Lowest sender bridge ID. So let me remove all these things. See, I told you whenever you connect the switches in the topology, then they will send each other BPD. They are just like hello packets for switch, bridge protocol data unit. And in the BPDU, they will tell what is the cost to reach to the king, what is the bridge ID, what is the priority and MAC. So this guy will send the BPDU from this port also. And this guy will also send the BPDU from this port also. But the thing is, for both sides, isn't the incoming bridge ID same? Yes, is it? Because they both are coming from a single switch. If you have a switch like this, and another switch like this, a switch like this here, and BPDU are coming from two different switches, then you can very easily decide on the basis of bridge ID, because obviously their bridge ID will be different. But in this case it is again tying, because both links are going onto a single switch. So in such scenario, always the bridge ID will tie. In here the bridge ID is this, from here the bridge ID is also this, and it is actually sender bridge ID who is sending you BPDU. Now let's go here. Step number 1 and 2 are tied. So step number 3, lower sender port priority, which I already told you is 128 by default. Meaning what? This port will be having a port priority which is 128, and this port will be also having a port priority which is 128, and in fact all the ports will have the priority 128 by default. So what is the last thing that will always break the tie? Lowest sender port ID. What is the port ID of your sender? So just let me see here. This is the sender ports, isn't it? So from left side, the sender port ID is 3. From this side, the sender port ID is 4. And you will always select the least one, because the least one is the best one. Okay, so obviously 3 is less than 4. That's why this guy became the root port for our topology. Why? Because for it the sender port ID is less than the other one. Okay, just keep in mind we will not look at 01 and 02. They are not sender. Sender means the switch that is sending you the BPDU, the switch that is in front of you. So we will compare 03 and 04. 3 wins, so 3 becomes root port. And now if you after step number 2 is done, you will see that all the non-root bridges will be having a root port. So this guy have a root port, this guy has a root port, this guy also has a root port. Now you have to do a very simple thing I told you before also. In front of each root port there is a designated port, because there are only 3 roles in spanning tree. Port roles only 3, which are RP, DP and block. See, we in front of RP we can never put block, because RP will provide you the best path to reach to the root bridge. That's why in front of RP there is always a designated port. So simply go in there and put DP in front of RP. In front of RP, in here it is already DP, so no need to do anything. In front of RP, already DP. In here, in front of RP, you have to put it is a designated port. Okay. So now our 3 steps are done. Any doubts or anything? I hope everything is clear. Yes. So the last thing, go to the rest of the links where there is no election happened as of now. Nothing. See, no DP, no nothing. And on those port you have to elect DP and blocking. One port on this link will be DP, another one will be blocking. One will be DP and one will be blocking. So let's continue and do the election of DP and blocking on the remaining links. And the good thing is, what is going to be the election procedure for that? The same one. We'll use the same election process, and the port which will win will become the DP. The port which will lose will become the blocking. Okay, so on this link we have to decide. Same procedure. The very first thing is our cost to reach to the root bridge. So what is the cost from this port and what is the cost to reach from this port? If you look carefully, this port belongs to switch 2, and from switch 2 the best cost is from the RP obviously, which is the 19. Whenever you will calculate the cost to reach to the root bridge, you will always elect from RP, because RP gives you best. Okay, whenever you will have to calculate the cost to reach to the root bridge, you will always calculate via RP only. So from here cost is 19, and for this switch, look, the cost is from RP is 19 as well. So in this case we cannot decide which port is winning, because from both switches 19 from here and 19 from here. So no worries, that's why we have 4 election criteria. The second one is the lowest sender bridge ID. Meaning what? In simple English, if cost ties, then whoever switch between switch 2 and switch 3 will be having the lowest bridge ID will win the election. So you tell me, who is having the lowest bridge ID? This guy or this guy? Switch 2 or switch 3? You can very easily calculate. See, priority is same, but you will look at the MAC address, and in MAC address switch 2 very easily wins. That's why the port of switch 2 will become DP, and the other guy will go into the blocking state. Same thing you have to do on the remaining other. See, you have to do as many remaining links you have. If so, in short, you can say if you have 5 remaining links, then you are going to have 5 blocking ports. And if you do it on this one, same thing you have to do. One is going to be DP, one is going to be block. Okay, let me summarize for this link also, because see, it might be a little tricky if you are watching it for the first time. First you will calculate the cost from this side. The cost from this link, from this port, is 19, because you see this port lies on switch 2, cost is 19 from here, and from here the cost is 19 as well. That's why you will compare the bridge ID of both switches. If you compare the bridge ID, this switch wins and the other guy loses. That's why he became the blocking one. Okay, so we have to do something similar on this link as well. What is the cost to reach to the king from this port? The cost to reach to the king from this port is 19, simply because it will send the data like this. From I told you, whenever you want to calculate the cost, you have to look at the cost from RP only. So for this port means this switch, right? So if you have to send the data, the cost will be what? The cost will be 19. Imagine it like this. And if you are sitting on this port, what is the cost? This is the RP. So cost is 19 plus 19, 38. So it was quite simple. This switch wins very easily because cost is 19 from this port, and from this port it is 38. Whenever you will check the cost have to be calculated from RP of that switch only. So final step, this guy became DP and the other one became block. And now your spanning tree is successfully converged. Why? Because if you look carefully, each port on the topology has its own port state. So see, the thing is, what spanning tree will do, spanning tree will cut the redundant links. What do you mean by cut the redundant links? This link will no longer be used anymore. Neither do this link is going to be there because one of the port is blocked. So simply said, I can do it like this also. See, physically it will be like this, but logically the topology, let me do some erase here, it will look something like this. You will not have anything here. It is like this. This is your logical topology. As simple as that. Spanning tree has removed this link, and spanning tree has also removed this link. So this is your topology right now, the logical topology. If you have to send the data have to go from these links only, and that's why there are not going to be any loop in this case. That is the usefulness of spanning tree protocol. Just in case if this link goes down, what will happen? The block 1 will automatically become up. That is the job of spanning tree also. Okay, so you don't might think that okay, I'm using spanning tree but I'm wasting my link. It is being wasted, but it is being wasted right now only. And if you want that okay, no, I don't want to really waste the link at all, because see, if you think efficiency wise, there is a problem with this spanning tree. What is the problem with this spanning tree is this link, these two links right now are physically connected, but they are not being used in the data forwarding. To solve that problem, there is a new spanning tree, and that is known as per VLAN spanning tree. An advanced one which will block the ports, but for some specific VLANs. In classical spanning tree, yes, these two links are completely wasted unless your some other link goes down. If this link will go down, then only this link will be used. Okay, so this was the video about spanning tree protocol algorithm in a complex topology. So don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't subscribed it as of now. Okay, in the next video we are going more deep into our spanning tree.